So today we're going to do another camera comparison between the iPhone 15 Pro versus the Galaxy S24 Ultra, but this time this one is updated due to the latest software. So Samsung released its first update on the S24 Ultra, and in the tab or information section, it does this camera on there, and from what I saw, it says the image quality and sharpness optimization code has applied. So I've decided to do a camera update comparison to see if you guys see any new improvements on the Galaxy. So going to the obvious, the Galaxy will perform better in telephoto, especially anything after like 15x. And then there's the colors, which is going to be different between the two, and it all really comes down to what you prefer and what colors you like. In my opinion, when I was taking pictures of the food, I am leaning towards the Galaxy just because of the colors. Since it's a bit more saturated, it just makes the food pop out more and looks more delicious. And then when I'm taking pictures outside, again, I'm leaning towards the Galaxy just because of the colors. When I'm looking at a taller building, the gray wall seems to be too teal on iPhone. And then there are times when the subject is in the shade, the shadow seems to be too blue as well. So overall, in a more consistent photo experience, the Galaxy seems to be more accurate in my opinion. And then there's portrait mode, which obviously the highlight seems to be clipping on the Galaxy, and it's also a bit more contrast there, where the iPhone seems to be really well rounded, the highlight roll off is nice on the skin, and the overall picture seems to be well exposed. On the Galaxy, you do have the option of using 5x, which looks really good, and now I just realized that in the past, shooting with the S20 to 22, or I think 23 as well, shooting portrait mode with this telephoto lens on a timer actually seems to be sharp now, which in the past was always blurry, so I'm glad that they fixed it. I think the biggest weakness on S24 Ultra's camera, and a lot of my creator friends as well, think that it's hard to take pictures in low light when people are moving or just things are moving in general, since it will look pretty blurry. And I know it's not going to be sharp all the time, but it was pretty horrendous on S24. With this update, it seems to be improved. I wouldn't say you can get completely clear pictures from moving people or objects, but at least they know the issue and they're attempting to fix it. And then looking at these photos, I am feeling how the Galaxy's ultra wide seems to be a bit better than the iPhone's as well. And then there's the coloring on these pictures, which you can tell there's a lot of tungsten light going on, which on the Galaxy seems to show you what the colors should be, whereas on iPhone, you can tell that there's a lot of yellowish hue going on, which is a bit more closer to the eye since the tungsten lighting is on the skin, on the walls, and on the floor. But again, ultimately it's up to you and which one you prefer. Then for video, the highlight seems to be a lot more controlled on the Galaxy for the ultra wide, and then as I'm panning around, of course you can see the low shutter speed happening where things are pretty blurry on both phones. And then for the main camera, you can still see that happening, but less. It really depends how fast I pan around. And again, the coloring is a little bit different. The Galaxy seems to be more saturated, which can be a bit too much for some people. Then moving on to daylight, the blues on the Galaxy seems to be a bit more stronger, where on the iPhone it's more tealish. And then with the HDR, where you can see the shadows to be a bit brighter on the Galaxy, and it's a bit more readable as well. And then I shot 3x just walking to see if the stabilization are any different. So that is the comparison with the updated firmware on the Galaxy. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.